4 parents, 9 kids, 2 houses. Didn't really wanna talk about this. 4 parents, 9 kids, I'm queer. One thing's clear, there's no dysfunction here. 4 parents, 9 kids, 2 houses. Didn't really wanna talk about this. 4 parents, 9 kids, I'm queer. One thing's clear, there's no dysfunction here.
Babe, hand me a beer.
Hey!
Welcome to our show.
We made it.
A camera in my face.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Man, it's been so long
Since
I
we've
feel
seen
like
each
I've
other.
spent quality time with all of you.
Been a while.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, we have had lots of time together recently. It was really fun.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was very nice, very nice.
We went on a great big bird. Traveled north where it's
kind of
cold.
bird?
Idaho, Idaho. So beautiful. It was like freshly fallen snow.
Oh.
It was like, what, 3 feet or more of snow? It felt
Gorgeous.
There was a lot of snow for sure.
It was like picturesque, like postcard worthy, like snow on the evergreens. And
Yeah.
So beautiful. And we got to go on a sleigh ride where herds of real elk, like 6-point elk that from the wild would just come up right up to us and
eat the bale of hay right under your ass. Like, it's like, woo! It was a
Personal
great
space,
time.
Not a thing.
Jonah touched their antlers. It was great.
We all had a good time.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. And we also had a very scary situation that was a medical emergency that we all got through together, and I feel like could not have ended much better. You know, I'm so grateful. I feel like we are truly watched over as a family, and we have the best guardian angels, and super duper duper grateful that things turned out the way they did. So
Me too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
yeah, it was really cool. We went sledding, snowboarding, all kinds of stuff. It was a blast.
What a
So
great week.
Lonette
Yes.
and
Fun.
Sam, Jake's parents, were fantastic hosts.
They really
and
were.
It was really a special time.
I was thinking we should just build our house right behind theirs or right in front. They wouldn't mind you ditching their
Yeah, who
front or
needs the
backyard,
view?
right?
Who needs
Yeah.
the view?
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, if we do it in front, we'll just have it be a very low house.
Yeah, we
What
could do
about
that
on
with
the
a
golf
wraparound
course?
porch.
Yeah,
Can we like
Love
dig
it.
into the ground?
I think
There you
so.
Make it
go.
low?
I think we're all determined to move to Cascade now. I'm sold. I thought I would never want to live in a snowy place again, but man, I loved it there. Well, what's on the agenda? What are we talking about
Oh,
today?
I think I know.
What's it gonna be?
How do you keep that romantic magic alive?
Ooh.
I've just been wanting to say it
Bow,
like that all
chicka,
day.
wow. Where's our like 70s porn music?
Yeah.
It's in my head 24/7. But I think that it's an appropriate episode. Valentine's coming up. We
Yeah.
thought about President's Day instead. Didn't seem as romantic. So we'll just let you guys have that one. And we'll talk about the old V-Day.
Yeah, which this is when this episode will go live on Friday, which is Valentine's Day.
Oh, happy Valentine's
Happy
Day!
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
I love you.
And, you know, honestly, for a lot of people listening to this podcast, it's probably a pretty fucking depressing day. It's like, wah, wah, just got
True.
divorced. Happy Valentine's
Yeah.
Day to me.
We have the wrong audience for Valentine's
But,
Day.
you know,
It's
I
okay.
think one thing that I want my children to learn above all is self-love. And so if you're not with a significant other, I think Valentine's Day should be a day could be a day all about going extra hard on loving yourself. Take yourself out for a massage, a pedicure, a candlelit bath, light some candles and play some music. I don't know.
I think that, like, when you think about keeping the romance alive and, like, making it spicy and switching it up, I think people's minds go directly to, oh, you're, like, you get a game, or you're, like, you know, doing, you know, things that are, like, I don't know, I guess maybe stereotypical is the word. And I think something a lot of people don't think about when it comes to keeping the romance alive is your interactions, like, just on a regular basis. Like, it doesn't even have to be sexual. It's just like, if you can have a baseline of a great connection and friendship between you and keep that, then that makes it so that witty banter back and forth, or, jokes making each other laugh, or even serious conversations, whatever it is, it develops a connection consistently. And if you're not having that with your partner, then you're finding yourself in a spot where you're like, we need to do something different, like we're not into each other, we haven't had sex in 9 days, or whatever it is, and I think that sometimes we ignore the thing that's right in front of us, which is just like intentionality in our relationship all the time.
Foundation of safety and kindness and humor. AJ and I have definitely learned that there's no real space for much else if there's not basic safety. We're very sensitive people, and I think we're all very sensitive people, and so little things that are hurtful, rude humor is something that kills the vibe for me real fucking fast. It's like, oh, you want to make fun of me? Keep it in your pants, motherfucker, It's
And
like,
I'm the opposite. I'm like, make fun of me hard.
AJ is on one today.
I'm just talking about keeping the romance. I'm trying to help.
Humor.
Whips, chains, whistles, yo-yos.
Whatever you got. Walk the dog.
Tips fun bag.
Did you say a yo-yo?
Yeah.
Yo-yo.
Around the world. These are all synonymous phrases in our bedroom with yo-yos and sex.
Yeah, so kindness is romantic to me is what I'm trying to say. Kindness and safety for me to be the fullest expression of myself, and that is something that AJ has given me, which is so beautiful. And I feel like I live a really good life as a wife of this guy because he offers safety to me. I know I'm not going to be hurt if I open myself to him. And so that allows me to be like, almost like the little kid version of myself that feels safe to be that, like.
Which I'm not into.
Thank you for clearing that out.
Because I can't help it.
You're like a kid again.
But truly, I was so blocked and so guarded, and what that meant for me was I was very masculine in my energy. Jake's wife, Toby, was very masculine in her energy because I had not healed myself, and so I felt like everything was a danger, everything was a threat, everything was scary, and so I was very closed off in all ways. And so to have healed a lot of the trauma and then to have a partner who offers safety for me to truly be all of myself is the key to me feeling romantic, literally.
That's nice. Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Yes.
And I do agree, that, I told Jake, early on, I don't know that I ever understood what, true and honest love was until I met Jake. I didn't have to do things, above and beyond. I could just genuinely be myself and know that he cared and he was willing to, provide himself without luxurious gifts or anything. It was just a true love. It was, I don't want to say easy because it wasn't easy because we've both been through a lot, but the one thing that really shows that he cares and loves me, I don't even have to ask, and he just does. And I don't think we need a special holiday to let each other know that we love each other. It's a great day and all, but if I know Jake needs something, I'm going to grab it for him. Or if he knows I'm going to need something, he does the same thing. In the airport.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
I wanted to cry at the table because I haven't been able to eat for 2 weeks, just drink.
Brutal.
And I'm oh, I don't even want to sit at this table because they're all going to be eating food and my mouth's salivating. And he went and got me a yogurt and a protein drink because that's what I can consume right now. And it just, I wanted to cry. I don't even have to ask. He just does.
That was so sweet, and I
beautiful.
appreciated watching that. I love the way that you guys take care of each other. It's super special.
Oh, thank you.
It's beautiful. It really is. It's interesting. It's when we lose the romance, which almost always for people means losing the sexual relationship when they're talking about stuff like that. all the focus just gets put on like, what do we need to do different sexually, and that's not what it's about most of the time. It's like romance and that deep, true connection is what leads to a healthy, better sex life. It's like we want to skip that step when there's a problem and be like, let's have a schedule, or let's make sure this or whatever, and it's not, you're ignoring the root of the issue. And so if you can, I love it. I didn't even think this conversation was going to go this way when we first started, and it did.
I remember when I was Mormon going out to Texas Roadhouse with some ladies, the same ladies, like every month or something, I don't know. But the entire conversation, and I did not engage in the conversation, you know, I've never been one to like openly speak about my marriage to even to friends, not even to my very closest friends, you know, like private things. But they would all spend the whole time, a lot of the time, talking about how much they absolutely hated their sex lives with their husbands. And so many of the Mormon women had never even experienced an orgasm. It's real. It's just like there's no pleasure, and it was such a major thing. And I just feel like so much of that comes from religion and the rules and suppression and boundaries and a lack of real acceptance and openness, and I think that is such a really important part of it. And one other thing that really helps me feel like the romance is alive is like thoughtfulness, like things just like you were saying, but like things that are out of the ordinary that my partner wouldn't normally do, isn't normally expected to do. Those things really make a difference for me. Like when he goes out of his way to bring me something that he knows I'll like, or make a meal for me, or plan a date that's not just the same thing we do all the time. Those things make me feel cared for and special and loved and well, and you know, like I matter and that I'm esteemed, you know. And so I, in the last 2 years, as I've healed, have had to get in tune with like, what do I want from my partner, and then communicate that. And one of those things has been gifts, like little, and I still, like, my shame trigger goes off, like, because I'm not someone who likes presents. I don't like a lot of presents that are like materialistic things. I get annoyed if we spend a lot of money on something or something, but thoughtful gestures and little things mean a lot to me, because they mean that you're thinking of me throughout the day, you know, or that you want to show me that I am the most important thing to you. And so that's something that we're working on.
I'm taking notes over here.
Yeah. You know, it's like, it's something that we are learning about each other and figuring out and trying to navigate and communicate with each other about what we truly need.
It's a good point, though, because, I mean, communication's number one in everything when it comes to relationships. And if you're not communicating what your needs are, and if you don't feel safe to communicate what your needs are because you don't have that baseline of trust and connection, then you're never going to get to where you want to go with, no pun intended, with the sexual.
When you're talking about those Texas Roadhouse meals, it got me thinking about, like, you know, all these Mormon wives, Mormon moms getting together and talking about it, when, like, the expectation in that religion is to get married young, but get married a virgin. Like man and woman, you're both supposed to be virgins. You're both supposed to be saving yourselves until your wedding night. And, like, you're not even supposed to go to second base before your wedding night.
Or
like,
even masturbate.
Like anything, you're not even supposed to masturbate. Like anything anything beyond a kiss is forbidden, to the point where you're not going to be allowed to get married in their temple as a worthy couple to be able to get married and sealed for eternity. Anyway, like, it's just setting everybody up for the most traumatic experience of their lives on their wedding night.
Which
if they actually
truly
follow
is
all
so
the
real.
rules and never have sex beforehand and don't even get to second base beforehand, like, how can it not be traumatic for everybody? How can how can you plow through it and not hate your sex life after that? It's just got to be
Absolutely.
like it's just setting you up for failure.
It is a
And
tough thing to go through as a young Mormon girl who's been taught to keep it on lock and key. When I got married in the temple, I had never in my life even masturbated, let alone had any kind of any relationship, and it was very difficult and traumatic and scary, and I felt so much shame because how do you just flip a switch and all of a sudden your body
Now
is
it's okay.
allowed to be touched, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, yes,
So
it's
much
very
there.
real. So yeah, I think that is so true and prevalent.
And even on top of all that, which is more than anyone can healthily deal with, no one tells you, like, also, like, once you are starting to do this, you need to communicate. You need to express what is good for you and what isn't, and you need to, like, be open to the other person figuring it out too. Like, nobody's telling you there are gonna be difficulties. It's just like, okay, you made it, good job, now go, and you're
Make
like,
babies.
what? Yeah.
Nobody said it was going to be this messy.
What? What did I sign up for?
Oh my
Who's supposed
God.
to do the laundry?
The woman.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's a very real point.
Wait, I'm not Mormon and I do the laundry.
Man,
Wait, what?
Tiff,
Unbelievable.
you got suckered.
What happened?
I'm
I had
joking.
a friend, because I grew up Mormon as well, who told us the story. This is a point to an example to my point about no one explaining anything to you, who was traumatized as was her husband on her wedding night, because like she was like, okay, now I'm gonna be all sexy and do this thing or whatever, she goes to the bathroom and changes into her lingerie and comes back out with her lingerie over her garments, which are special, like,
Underwear.
sacred underwear that Mormons wear, but aren't intended to be worn with lingerie.
Oh my gosh.
And I guess he
That's so
just
tough.
busted up laughing, and it affected her for a long time.
I'm
Bless
sure.
her heart.
Yeah.
These things are so unfair.
Oh, wild.
So do you have to wear, and
Poor lady.
I'm naive here, but do you have to, can you not wear them after you get married? Or you have to wear them even when you're married?
You're supposed to sleep with them. I worked out with them. You're really only supposed to take them off if you're showering or swimming.
It's a real thing.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I took my garments off, I was so terrified because I was programmed to believe that I was unsafe without
Right.
them. And I truly felt unsafe. It was a really difficult thing for me to take my garments off and to learn how to live without this shield of protection that I had been programmed to believe in.
Yeah.
Another
Wow.
layer, if you will, of programming.
Boom.
Peel the onion.
Yeah, so I think that more than anything, communication is so huge in romance. And I always tell my kids there is kindness and directness. Direct communication, even though it's hard sometimes to say the thing, it is so important to be like, this is what I need more of. This isn't working for me. How are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. And in doing that, not just in the bedroom, but in everyday life, expressing what your love language is, expressing things that could help you feel more safe, more cared for. I think that is a really big part of keeping the romance alive. I also think making sure you have quality time together and where it's really protected and intentional. We're not on our phones. We're not talking about work stuff unless you want to, but it's intentional. I just think, and one thing AJ is really good at is just being in the present moment with me in love. He just like grabs me in the kitchen and looks me in the eye. Happens every single day of my life. I'm very lucky. But he's just like, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. He wants to kiss my lips. And he tells me how good I feel. And he he's so expressive in his love for me, and that helps me feel safe and cared for and like his queen. And I want to feel that way. I deserve to feel that way. I'm a fucking woman. Women deserve everything. We bring life into the world, and we need to be treated like queens, you know? And I think so much of the problem with women's dissatisfaction in the world is that we're so programmed to hate ourselves and to hate each other as women, and we are, you know, we don't realize how precious we are as women. This is something that I'm learning again and again in the medicine work I'm doing. The divine feminine and the power that women have to bring life into the world. We're literally bleeding a fourth of the time so that all these motherfuckers can be born. And we are going through massive hormonal shifts all the time. And we are feeling our children's feelings in our nervous systems all the time and internalizing so much, managing so much, and to just be acknowledged as women that need to be that our feminine side needs to be held like a flower, you know? I'm just learning that as I learn to love myself. I'm like, oh, I deserve love. And in doing that, I want to honor AJ as the man that he is, holding space for a woman to be her divine self, and his strength and his groundedness. And I don't know, I just feel like I really feel like the more we learn to love ourselves, the more we want to love others, but also learn what we need and can communicate that. I'm long-winded, so.
I loved it.
That was beautiful.
I almost cried there. Like, that was really beautiful.
It
was very
really is.
good.
And also, I don't feel like I could do that if I didn't feel that you genuinely were the exact same towards me. You know, to be open and vulnerable and express to someone how you truly feel inside all the time about their wonderfulness and being attracted to them and being in love with them. If it's not reciprocated, like, you don't want to keep doing it.
It doesn't keep going if it's not reciprocated.
Exactly,
Totally.
yeah.
And
That's
to offer safety for a man to be open and gentle and broken if he needs to be broken, and snuggled and tickled and cared for, like, to allow each other to just be soft and gentle and open with each other has been such a blessing in my life. So
Mine too.
thank you, honey.
Thank you, love you. You're the best.
Sorry.
Y'all are amazing.
You guys
Good work.
too.
You too. I learned so much from you
I
guys.
agree.
When you were talking about we literally bleed a fourth of the time, it reminded me of one of my supposed to be funny t-shirts from back in the day when I was doing the inappropriate t-shirt business. And it was public erections, you're so lucky you're a girl.
That's funny. I always think of the South Park. There's a South Park episode. You know, the teacher that's kind of weird at the school. I can't remember his name. Do you know?
Mr. Garrison?
Mr. Garrison, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mr. Garrison.
One of the kids, I think it might be Kyle, I don't know, says something like, my mom says that blah, blah, whatever. And he's like, I'm sorry, Kyle. I don't believe anything that bleeds for 7 days and doesn't die.
That's great. Yeah, I just think that it's so important that we get vulnerable and open and communicative, and in doing so we show our kids how to do the same in relationships. And I see my kids doing that in their relationships, and it's so cool to witness. And you know, advocating for yourself and then wanting to also open yourself to learning about how to care for the other person, you know. Well, thanks everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Will you all be my Valentine?
Oh, I'll be
I was
everyone's
waiting for
Valentine.
Guess who my Valentine bonus is? I get to babysit baby Journey on Valentine's Day from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. I've got a date with a baby. Yeah, I'm so excited for this.
Hey.
I'll be working.
I'll be in bed drinking soup.
Yes, we'll be taking good care of
For the
our
third
precious
week in a
Tiff.
row.
Oh, and we did talk about announcing next week's topic, and so we'll do that next week. We're announcing that we're going to announce it.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause I
The
did not
look
pre-announcement
that
far ahead.
announcement.
Yes, yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But-
Called a
Stay
teaser.
tuned.
and a special shout out to Jonah for being here today, for producing our show, for editing our show, for creating our
Good work,
amazing
John.
soundtrack.
He makes
Jonah,
the magic
you
happen.
are fucking awesome. Thank
Yeah, he
you.
is.
We
Thank
love
you.
you. So awesome. All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Deuces.
4 parents, 9 kids, 2 houses. Didn't really wanna talk about this. 4 parents, 9 kids, I'm queer. One thing's clear, there's no dysfunction here. 4 parents, 9 kids, 2 houses. Didn't really wanna talk about this. 4 parents, 9 kids, I'm queer. One thing's clear, there's no dysfunction here. Babe, hand me